Alright guys, so here's the review of the Steeldive SD1953. So, as you can see, it comes in one of these nice hard cases, so you don't need to worry about it getting damaged during delivery. Open it up, and there's the watch. Just put that to one side for a second. Didn't really get anything else in the box, just the tag, and then obviously the links I've removed, and that's pretty much it. This, I'll put to one side for a second. We'll mention that in a bit, but let's get right down to it. So, as you can see, I went with the blue dial version. They do actually have as well a green and a black version. They also have options as well where you can get it on a silicone strap with matching colours, depending on what dial you get, obviously. But the interesting thing about that is they're actually the same price as the bracelet versions, which I thought was a bit odd. You'd expect them to be cheaper, surely. If you're not getting the bracelet, you should be knocking a bit of money off. So if you do want to pick one of these up, link will be down in the description. That's an affiliate one. If you do get one of these, please consider using that. Helps support the channel. So if you do get one of these, I recommend getting it on the bracelet. If you do want to pick up a silicone strap later on, just buy one. So speaking of that bracelet, I'll quickly address a couple of little things with this. I don't know if this is going to come up on camera, but on this link here, don't know if you can see that, I've got a bit of a QC issue with this. Yeah, there we go. You can see it's a little bit dented. So it arrived like that. A little bit disappointing. Especially with it being on a link I can't actually remove as well, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth. Because I was thinking, I'll just swap it out, it'll be fine. Just not use that link. But alas, it's one of the fixed ones. So I'll quickly address as well while we're here this clasp. So this isn't the one you're going to get on the watch. This is a milled one that I've swapped in. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. So it's pretty much the same as the one you will get on the outside. Same micro adjust. But like I say, this is a milled one. Quickly bring in that other one. This is actually a pressed one. So like I say, looks the same from the outside. Same fold over, double pushers, 3 micro adjust. She's got a pressed one. I'm not really sure why they don't include this milled one as standard, to be honest, because it's that cheap. I think it cost about £4 or £5, again on AliExpress, and it just makes it feel so much better. It's not as rattly as with the other one, and it's just nicer overall. But as for the rest of the bracelet, we've got solid end links at least, and like I say, push pins. So no screw links on this one, but given the price, you kind of expect that. We have got a nice signed crown though, which I do like. The Steeldive logo. Another slight thing that did bug me a bit with this as well is the way that end link sits in. It's just sitting a bit low. I don't really know why. It's solid enough, doesn't move, just I don't really like the way it sits lower than the case. The other side isn't as bad, but it's still sitting a bit low. So again, a little bit of a QC issue I think. But the main one, now those hands are moved out of the way you can probably see, is that Cyclops. It's completely misaligned on mine, unfortunately. So much so, that combined with the other issue with the bracelet, that link being a bit damaged, I did actually open a dispute on AliExpress. I managed to get a refund, I think it was £10. So, not too bad I guess. I'll probably try and remove this Cyclops at some point, because it is really off. Which is unfortunate because it just kind of ruined the look. As for the rest of that dial, we've got fully printed text, so you've got the Steeldive at the top, along with the Steeldive logo, automatic 300 meters at the bottom, which is nice. Don't really expect 300 meters on a watch like this. Normally you get around 200, I think. I think the San Martin I did last review, I think that was 200 meters. So I was surprised to see this one's 300. As for those indices, they're all nicely done, no issues on there, all nicely aligned, and all filled with lume obviously. Hands, same, nicely finished, no issues. So on the dial front, the only real issue we've got is that Cyclops, which I say I'm probably going to try and take off at some point. So as for the bezel, that's actually ceramic bezel insert, and it is actually lumed as well, but I'll show you that in a bit. So as for the action on it, it's not too bad, it's not the best, but not really any backplay, tiny little bit. Sounds a little bit tinny almost, but it works well enough. And perfectly aligned as well, which is the main thing. So we've got an NH35 in this, so I'll show you that in action. Unscrew the crown, pull it out once, a little bit stiff there. I haven't really used this all that much, so there you go, change the date, and as you can see, Cyclops is a bit irritating, but enough of that. Pull it again. Second hand stops, so we've actually got a hack in, and then obviously you change the time, and then push it back in, and the second round re-engages. So now let's test whether we've got sapphire crystal on this. Using the trusty Dam Selector 2. So yep, we've got sapphire crystal. While we're here, let's test that dodgy Cyclops, well, misaligned Cyclops. As you can see, that is actually sapphire crystal as well, surprisingly. You don't always get that. So it's a nice bonus. Obviously not on my one, but if you pick one up. So let's get on to the dimensions now. So we've got a diameter of 41mm, thickness of just over 13, lug width of 20. Got a lug to lug of about 47.5, but we've got protruding mid links on this bracelet, so that's going to extend it out slightly. So the effective lug to lug is actually 52.5. So it doesn't make too big a difference, but just something to be aware of. So now let's check out that lume. So there you go, looking pretty good already. Pleasantly surprised, but let's charge it up and see exactly what we're dealing with. And there we go. So, like the video last week with the San Martin, this is actually really good lume. A step up from a lot of the other videos I've been doing. And it's pretty impressive, especially given the price of this one compared to that San Martin as well. Granted, there's a few more QC issues with Steeldives, but that being said, I got a little bit unlucky with mine, I think, because I've got the misaligned Cyclops and that weird issue with that link on the bracelet. Bar that, I'm really impressed with this watch. As you can see, the lume is lasting a decent amount of time as well. It's faded slightly from what it was when I charged it up fully, but it stays at this kind of level, pretty decent time. So definitely a really nice bonus to have. If I was going to nitpick slightly, you can kind of see that some of the indices aren't as evenly applied as others, but like I say, that's a minor gripe. Overall, it's still usable no matter what. And like I say, stays at this level a decent amount of time. So all that's left to do now is show it on wrist. So this is what it looks like on my 7-inch wrist. Like I say, with those protruding mid links, that's a little bit, but still perfectly wearable for a 7-inch wrist. And then again, you can see that link is disappointing, that. But again, you're probably not going to get that if you pick up one of these. unless you get really unlucky like I did. But other than that, and that misaligned Cyclops, which like I say, I am probably going to remove at some point. It's a nice watch, especially given the price. And adding in this milled clasp for, I think it's £4 or £5, again, link down in the description. I'd recommend this. As long as you're aware you could end up with some QEC issues, and you take that into account. But like I say, I opened a dispute, managed to get a partial refund, so it's not too big a deal really. So would I recommend this watch? On the whole, yeah, I think I would, as long as you're aware of the possible issues you might have. But that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.